So it's raining. It's been raining most of the week. I can't really road test a bike that I want to road test with the front timing cover off it, so I can mess with the timing if I need to, and I've done all the work. So I decided to finish my rainy day project, which was to get the jig ready for boring and tapping blocks for stripped threads. My bike pulled the right hand top stud, and it had been helicoiled before. Unfortunately, when that was done, only single depth helicoils were used. They need to be doubles if you're going to use helicoils in a BMW block. Please remember that, and if you get someone to come, fight with them. Don't allow them to tell you that they will work. They will not. They will pull out if they're only one depth. When the bottom one pulled out, I used a big cert in there because I had to overbore it. And the top one pulled. It's one of the oil gallery feeds that feeds the rocker gear. The two top studs on each side feed the rockers on your bikes, so there is an oil feed that comes in there and runs down along the head studs. I went and purchased an insert, a solid steel insert, and when I looked at the quality of the machine work on it, I wasn't happy to put it in my bike, so I went to my own guy and I got 14 by 1.5 plugs made, the correct depth. They're really well made, beautifully machined. My machine guy is about, I'd back him to be the best in the country. I don't care what anyone says, and his work is impeccable. Took him a little while to make them for me, and then I had to make a jig. Well, I didn't have to. I could have winged it and tried to do it by ear, but like a lot of the so-called professionals do, but I'm a bit of a chicken. So I got an old cylinder barrel. This is for a 1000cc bike, and I hacked about and cut it down. And I've now bored it so that this hole here takes the tap drill as a pilot. So you bolt these two diagonal holes up onto the block, and this one nearest to us is the pilot for the tap, so that it locates properly. There's a recess machined in each side that takes that push-in spigot, so that you can flip this block over from side to side, and by doing that you can then rotate, because the holes are actually rectangular. Like there's where the push rods come through, and they're rectangular. They're longer on the up and down axis than they are on the side to side axis. So what we had to be able to do was to make this so that we could flip it over and then be able to rotate it around, and by doing that we bolt it to the block with two holes, and we use one hole as a pilot for the tapping drill, and the other one as a pilot for the tap itself. And that way we make sure that the hole is drilled exactly square to the block. This little insert then will then be screwed in and Loctited. I'll relieve it where the oil feed comes in, line it all up before I screw it home, and then screw it home to the correct place. And with the thread surface of that and the size and the depth of that thread, I don't believe I'll have any more trouble, and I think it is a much better repair, permanent repair, than a big cert. So there's just a little bit of rainy day information for you. I doubt that any of you really will use it, but it's just something I was working on, and like a lot of times when I've done these things, I sit down and think, maybe I should share it. People seem to enjoy it. Ride safely, stay well, we'll talk again.